Hello everyone, this is Ashish Sani from Innovate Yourself. Welcome back to my channel. Once again, I am back with a new topic for MQTT protocol. Now, in today's video, I'm gonna demonstrate like how you can connect your Node MCU to the MQTT server. So basically, in today's video, I'm gonna demonstrate that how you can connect both of them together and how you can control the components connected to the Node MCU using the MQTT server. And in today's session, we will be controlling the LED connected to the Node MCU. So this is all that we will be covering, and other than that you will also see that how you can send the callback signal as well, or you can say you will also see that how you can send the signal from your Node MCU to the MQTT server. So in short, we will see both publish as well as subscribe. So this is the thing that we will be covering up in today's session. Now let's not waste time and let's straightforward go to the project and let's understand how we're gonna do this thing. So let's get started. So guys, as you can see that this is a new sketch file, and here we have to start writing up the code. And right now I'm not showing you any hardware stuff, just because currently we're gonna use Node MCU, and we will not make any external connection to that, just because we are going to use the inbuilt LED of Node MCU. So we will be controlling that LED using the MQTT server. So currently I'll be using that only. So that's the reason we are directly shifting to the coding stuff. And for the coding part, currently you need to add a new sketch, or you can say you need to add a new library into your sketch, and that library is with the name pub sub client, which is like publish subscribe client. So this is a short form for that. So we will be adding it up, and to add that up you just have to go to sketch, then include libraries, and then go to manage libraries, and a window will be pop up like the library manager. And over here, once this is loaded, just search for pub sub client. So we'll do that, right? So just search for it. Now you can see it is showing you so many libraries, but we don't have to go for all. We need the one which is with the name pub sub client, which is this one, which is by Nick O'Leary, right? So this is the one which we have to install. So just click on this install, and if you want to change to any of the version, you can select that accordingly, but I'll go with the latest version only. So just click on install and wait for it to install. All right, so it's installed. So you can see pub sub client is installed. So now I can proceed further. And now as the library is installed, now I'll go to file, because along with this pub sub client library, we have few examples which you can directly use and you can further modify it. So right now I'll go to examples, and I'll scroll down to pub sub client, and in here, just because we are going to work with Node MCU, so I'll go for this MQTT underscore ESP8266. So I'll open up this one. So just open it up. All right, so you can see this is opened. Now over here you can see we have the code already written, and let me explain you what exactly we have inside this code. Basically we are going to connect to a server which is MQTT server, and currently you can see this is a server, or this is MQTT server which is written by default, but we will not be using this one in our in a today's video, just because this is the very common protocol, or this is a very common broker for MQTT which everyone use, and that's the reason it's having a very huge traffic over there, and sometimes it doesn't perform well. So that's the reason we'll go with someone else, and we'll try to connect to that MQTT server, and we'll do the further publish and subscribe topics, right? So for that, instead of using this, I'll go with test.mosquito.org, right? So this is the one which I'll be using. And in fact, if in case you want to know more about this, you can simply copy this, and you can go to this website. Here you will get more details on this, like what MQTT is, what application, what authentication we have, what servers we have, what KVET we have. So all of these information we have regarding this. So if you want, you can go to this and you can check that. So currently I'll be using this one. And along with this, you have to fill up the SSID and password so that you can connect to the network. And after that, you can connect to the MQTT's protocol or MQTT server, right? So this is what you have to do. So here you just need to fill up the details. So I'll be filling it up. Okay, so I have filled up the SSID and password, and also I have put the MQTT server which I have in here. Now after that, as you can see, we are calling ESP8266 Wi-Fi and PubSub client. So as per that, we have to start creating a first object which is with the Wi-Fi client, and I have given it a name as ESP client. And accordingly, I'm just connecting it to the PubSub client, or you can say to the server basically. So we are just linking it to that. And after that, we are simply creating few variables. And why are we creating it, you will see that at the end, because we will be using it to further publish our data basically. The message that I'll publish from the node MCU side will be the subscribe topic for my MQTT server. So basically this one I'll be using to publish it, means node MCU will send that and your MQTT server will receive that. In the similar way, if MQTT server will send you some message, or if the MQTT server will publish something, that will be a subscribe topic for your node MCU. So this is how basically it works. So this one we'll see at the end. Now after that, you can see that we have few functions created over here, right? Yeah, right. So you can see this is setup and this is loop. These are the two inbuilt functions in your Arduino Sketch. So this is by default, you will have that definitely. Now let's start with the setup, because you all know that setup is the first function which is called first and which will be executed first, and it will be executed only once, right? So let me open it up and let's see what we have inside this. So as you can see, firstly we are defining what pin we are going to use, or you can say what LED we are going to connect to. So we are using the built-in LED, so that's what we have defined in here. And also we are using the serial monitor for this, so that's why we have specified the baud rate as 115200 for the communication. And after that, setup underscore Wi-Fi, just because we need to connect to the Wi-Fi network so that we can connect to the other server over the internet. So that's the reason we are just calling it up. Usually we write directly this code inside the setup function, but instead of writing it here, we have simply created a separate function for that, so that we can connect to the network. And as you can see, we are running it in a station mode, so that we can act like a Wi-Fi. And we are connecting to the SSID and password, and until it is connected, it will show dot dot dot, and once it is connected, it will show you that Wi-Fi connected, and this is the IP address for that. So this is the code for connecting to the network, and that's what we have called in here. After that, now we are going to connect to the server. Basically we have already created a client through which we are going to connect it, and this client is going to set the server as MQTT server, which is this one which we have specified in here, and the port number is 1883. And this port number which we have specified in here is having some meaning. And what's the meaning of that? You can go to this website which I showed you, test.mosquitto.org. Over here you can see that this is a server, and these are the different ports that we have. Depending on the port number that you are using, you are setting up the authentication and encryption method for your MQTT server. Like we are using 1883, which means we are using the MQTT unencrypted MQTT server and unauthenticated MQTT server. So this is what exactly we are doing. If you are gonna change it to 1884, you can see it will be unencrypted, but it will be authenticated. Similarly, if you go for some other port number, you will see we have the different functionalities over there, right? So in this way, we can select like what port we want to use and what server we want to use, right? So this is your MQTT protocol, and this is your MQTT server basically, right? So we have this. Now after that, we are also setting up a callback method, so that when the MQTT server will send some request to you, or you can say when MQTT will publish something, you will be able to subscribe to that. So that's the reason we have this callback function over here. So basically this callback is passed as an argument, which is a function, and that is this one. So over here, if you will see, it's like we are just receiving the data, and once we have received the data, based on the information or based on the bytes that we have received, we are just gonna do the comparison, or let's say we are just setting up the action. Like in our case, what exactly we want to do is based on the value that we will get from the MQTT server, like we will be sending 1 or 0. So as per that, if I will be getting 1, I will be simply turning on the LED. Now here you can see I have set it up as low. Why it is set it up as low? Just because your node MCU by default pins gets turned on when you set the signal as low, right? So this is how we turn on the LED. And similarly, if the signal is 0 or something else, the LED will be turned off. So this is what we are doing in this callback function, right? So this is what we have done. Now once this is done, after that, now let's come to the loop part, where we have the main functionality to repeat, because this is just a one time step, right? So we have just set up the functions, like whatever we want to use, whether we want to connect to the network, or what mode we want to use for the pin, or what server we are going to use. So this is what we have defined in here. But now we are going to come for this thing where we will do the repeated things, right? So firstly, we will check if the client is connected or not, or let's say if we are connected to the MQTT server or not. If you are connected to the MQTT server, then it's gonna come out of this condition and it will directly jump further. Otherwise, it will go to this reconnect. Reconnect is this one. This is your reconnect, where what exactly we are doing is we are just attempting to connect to the MQTT server, where we also set up that what client we are going to use. Currently we are not specifying any particular client, we are just using any random values for that, or we are just using any random client ID. That's what we are defining here, and accordingly we are just connecting to that. And once we are connected to this, like over here we are just connecting to the client. If the client is connected, then we'll simply print that we are connected. And now we are publishing something. Publishing something means now we are sending a signal, or we are just sending a data from your node MCU to the MQTT server. So basically for that, we are just writing it like we are just publishing that, and the topic for that will be out topic. This is the name that we have given. Let's say we can change this name, right? So let's say I'll give it like to MQTT, means we are sending the data to MQTT. So this is what I'm going to write in here, right? Similarly, on the other side, next one is client.subscribe. Now this time this client.subscribe means my node MCU is acting as a subscriber, which means it will wait for you to send some value to receive it, right? So let me change this one as well, like from MQTT, right? So in this way I'm going to change it, right? So this is what we are doing, and if everything goes fine, then this is what it's going to happen. Otherwise, it's going to print as failed. And what is the client state? It is also going to show you that. And also after 5 seconds it will try it again. As you can see, we have a delay of 5 seconds. So this is what it exactly it is doing, right? Now we'll go in here again, and over here inside this, once you are connected, you will start the loop for that. And every 2 seconds, after every 2 seconds, this is exactly what the condition we have put. After every 2 seconds, we are gonna send this signal, or we are gonna send this request to the MQTT server, so that we can send back some message, right? Like over here you can see, as per this reconnect, what we have done. Once we are connected, we are just simply sending hello world. But over here we are not sending only hello world, we are sending hello world and some random values for that. And how the values are gonna come, like from here we are just doing the increment on that, right? So this is how we are gonna do that. And after that we are just publishing it. Now this time we have to change this, just because we have changed the topic, right? And the topic is to MQTT. So we are just sending the data to MQTT server, right? So this is how we have done that, right? So this is the exact, and this is the complete code for your MQTT server. Now let's understand, or let's say let's try to upload the data, and let's see what will happen if I will execute this, right? So for that I'll have to upload it. So let me upload it. So as you can see that I have connected my node MCU to my system, right? So this is my system. So I've connected to that. Now we'll upload the code, and let's see how it's gonna react. Now let's upload the code. Just to verify that you have selected the right board and you have selected the right port, right? So I have the right port selected over here. Now I'll click on upload, just because I mentioned everything already, right? All right, so the code is uploaded and everything is working fine, but currently we need to check that whether we are getting the signals, or let's say we are getting the data sent from the node MCU, or we are able to connect to that or not. So for that we need some software through which we can connect to that, and for that you have two options: either you connect it on your system, or you can download the application on your smartphone. But for now I'll show you by adding one add-on um, uh, to your Google Chrome, because in Google Chrome we have an add-on with the name MQTT Lens, so you can use that to connect to it, and you can accordingly do it on your system basically, right? So for that, if you have Google Chrome, you can go with that. Otherwise we can go for the application to be installed on your smartphone, right? So currently I'll show you with the Google Chrome. So let me show you that. And over here I'll simply search for MQTT Lens, press enter, and over here you can see the first link is shown, which is MQTT Lens from Google Chrome. So just click on that. It will take you inside and it will simply show you this one. Currently, as you can see, it is showing me the option to launch app, just because it's already installed on my Google Chrome, or you can say it's already added over there. That's why it's showing me like this. But in your case, it will ask you to download it or to add it, right? So if you want to work with it, just click on add it to your Google Chrome, and we can move further, right? So once it is done, just click on this launch app, or it will simply open up a page where it will show you to click on MQTT Lens. Just click on that and it will open up like this. So as you can see in here, this is showing me something like this, and I think I have already started a connection before. So let me delete this one first. Okay, so this is how basically it will open when you will start it for the first time, right? So now once we are at this step, once we have opened this MQTT Lens, now we have to create a connection for this. Just click on plus, and over here it will ask you for few details which you need to pass. So first one is MQTT connection name. Basically it's a name that you can give anything, right? It's not like you have to pass the host name. Host name will be passed here. You need to pass any name. Let's say it's MQTT uh, innovate yourself IY, for example, right? So this is the name that I'm giving, because it can be anything, first of all, right? And in the host name, just select TCP, and inside this host name you can simply pass this test.mosquito.org. Just copy it and paste it here, right? And port you can specify here, and as we have already discussed, we are going to work with 1883, which is unencrypted and unauthorized, so we can directly use this. And if you want to change it according to your requirement, you can change it and you can use that one. And here you can see the client ID is like any random value, so this is how it's being shown to you. And these things you can leave. And over here credentials are username and password. Currently we're not using any of the credentials, that's why we'll not add any of it. But if you have your credentials, or if you have the username and password with your requirement, you can add that and you can use it further. But currently I will not add it. And here are also few details which you can fill up, like what will be the quality of service that you will be using. So currently we're using with 0 only, so we'll not make any changes in here, right? So that's all. Now I'll click on create connection and it will start a connection for me. So let's start it. So as you can see, everything is green and we have made a connection, and also you can see the status is connected. So that means we are connected to the server, and now we can see like what all we are getting over here, right? So here you can see we have subscribe and we have publish, right? So firstly let's try with the subscribe, because in subscribe we have given a topic as this. The published topic for node MCU will be the subscribe topic for your MQTT server. So I'll simply pass to MQTT, and the quality of service is 0, and click on subscribe. Can you see hello world 149, hello world 150. So basically after every 2 seconds you're getting this value which we have mentioned over here, right? So this is what we are doing. Now similarly the other way, to send the data from your MQTT server to your Node MCU, and for that we have a second topic, and that second topic is from MQTT, right? So I'll pass that, and along with that we have to pass a value that what data you're gonna send. And currently, as you can see, as per our coding, what we have done, we have simply set up that it will be either one or anything else. One means to turn on the LED, and anything else like 0 or 2 3 4 something will be to turn off the LED. So we'll send that, right? So as you can see, the LED is turned on. So now we have to turn it off. And for that, I'll be sending the signal as 0. So I'll click on publish. So can you see the LED is turned off? Similarly, if I'll do the other way, click on 1 and pass the value. So can you see LED is turned on? So in this way, we can simply turn on the LED or turn off the LED. And I hope you have got an idea how do you publish the data and how do you subscribe to the data. So subscribe to the topic basically. So this is all that we do with the MQTT protocol. I hope everything was clear to you and you're not facing any difficulties. But still, if you're facing any difficulties or if you have any doubts regarding any of the topic that I have covered today, then you can leave a comment below in the comment section. And also, if you are new to our channel and if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, then please click on the subscribe button so that you do not miss any of the videos coming onto my channel. And in fact, I'll be keep on posting more videos very useful to you. So that's all from my side for today. So thank you so much for watching. Please do like, share, subscribe and comment if you have any doubts, and also share it with your friends and everyone so that they can also have benefit of this. So thank you so much for watching. Bye bye and take care.